Welcome in, everybody. This is Baxter Street Boys. I'm your host, Cole Wilcox, joined as always by co-host Jake Gordon and producer Griffin Rudy. This week is a special week because it's official. Dylan Raiola is a dog. We're going to talk about the implications of that, how big they can be. We also have some beef on Twitter with another podcast from a certain brand. We're going to get all into that. A lot of people don't know where this beef started from. We're going to go through the whole thing. Everybody loves a good beef sesh. That's what we got coming up. And obviously, we're going to get our tier maker going. We got the best bars in Athens. We're going to tier them up. So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a really good one. So glad y'all are joining in. Hope everybody's having a good week. Let's make it happen.
Alistair down the left field line.
Two have come in the paint. Oquendo.
Tomahawk.
Cable launches one to right field, and he knows it. A grand slam.
We just stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose. We just crushed their face.
One, snap, hold, kick. No! Good! No! Good! By the defense, 40, 30, they won't catch him. Go, Swift, into the end zone, touchdown! The freshman just ran it back to Philadelphia. Throws near sideline, and it's intercepted. Intercepted, Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes, 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, near sideline, breaks the tackle, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, 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 Georgia.
I know I'm asking a lot, you guys, but hunker it down one more time.
I can't wait.
I'm afraid Cario's not long for the B-roll, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was about to say. I can't wait until we can replace that video with some absolute thrilling.
Yeah, I gotta switch that up. That was just one of the basketball plays I found on Twitter.
Yeah,
it may have been the only one.
Just sick dunk.
It was a sick dunk. Well, boys, how we doing? How we living?
Doing good. I graduated on Saturday. I'm glad it's over because I hate graduation. Thank you. Graduation. It's for everybody else, man. It's not for me. It's not for you if you are graduating. It's for your parents.
Yeah.
And like the people around you. Like the people want to show up and take pictures and stuff. They mailed me my degree in the mail.
Yeah,
fine with it, but
you
gotta make everybody else happy.
I had fun for about 2.5 minutes of graduation. They showed a cool video, and then like at one point somebody came up there and started talking, and they were kind of hyping me up a little bit, and it ended with like the never bark alone thing, and I was kind of like, all right, cool. That's kind of hard. Like I'm down with that, but the other crap, I was just.
Mine wasn't at the Steg. Mine wasn't at the Steg because the roof caved in, so I had to do it at like the Classic Center. It was bad. Wasn't a fan.
Yeah, well, you're officially out in the real world. Griffin's a graduate as well. One day I might get there. Still about 2 years away from a degree, so we'll work towards that when the opportunity comes. But yeah, Jake's a lawyer.
Almost.
Yeah, almost.
Still got the bar in July, but we're taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, that's a big hurdle, I guess. That is a big hurdle. Well, boys, he's here. He's here and he's beautiful. Dylan Raiola is a dog. It's kind of been like the worst kept secret in the world for like the last month, I guess. But the Dan Orlovsky tweet was an all-timer.
I was going to say, I kind of thought it was lame. I feel like he kind of ruined it for me.
He 100% ruined it, but that's Dan Orlovsky to a T, I feel like. Like he's a very nice guy. So it feels like he means really, really well.
No social skills.
No, but he's just like clueless what's going on around him. The fact that he tweeted out I forget what the actual tweet was that he then deleted or edited. He edited the tweet. Little did he know you could click on it and see what he edited out of it. So you could see that he said something about Raiola specifically. But then he just edited out to where it said, heard Georgia's getting some good news soon. It was like, everybody's like, I wonder what that is.
And at the end, he was still like big time quarterback coming to the Dog. It's like, all right, man, we still know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean,
I used to hate Dan Orlovsky because he used to have some horrendous takes.
I think he's just harmless. He's just
and
kind
he
of
still might,
goofball.
I kind of like him now. He's just
he's good at what he does, but yeah, he does do stuff like that, which is what makes him funny. But anyway, we have Raiola. Instant reactions. Have we got?
I'm excited, man. I don't know who he's going to bring with him. I'm usually not big into recruits, but it's always may have missed on Arch Manning last cycle. I've heard that a lot of people think Raiola is better. I'm not going to pretend like I grind high school tape because I certainly do not. I just kind of go off what other people tell me. But I'm excited for the kid. I've heard he can make a lot of throws, a lot of sidearm, off-platform stuff, and he's a playmaker. And it'll be interesting to see how quick he can compete if he signs. We still got a long way to go until signing day, but he feels like a guy who's going to stick for the long run.
To me, and this may be a casual take, but to me, he looks like a good quarterback. He has the look. I don't know what
he's a good looking guy.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
You're saying he's ugly?
No. Y'all are crazy. But he just has a look of a solid QB, just a star, And I think that's what he's going to come in and be. And in the midst of a Georgia 5-peat, we're just going to keep winning. Like, who's going to beat us?
Yeah, I love the Nebraska tears. They're like, you could have come here and turned this program around.
No, he wouldn't.
You guys wants to do that. Who wants to be the savior of Nebraska? Literally no one on earth ever.
What do you guys think these kids think about? Like, I know you live in Nebraska, so you're probably not around a lot of high school recruits. Do you think these guys are like? Do you think they want to go to the NFL, or or they want to be like, I take a lot of pride in resurrecting a program.
Yeah, no.
I love how people
freaking storybook.
I love how people went from like y'all aren't gonna get him to like. He's not even going to be good. Like, we've seen what Kirby does with quarterbacks. Like,
right. That was the best, dude. That was the best coming out of it. Like, all those 5-stars developed there. Well, I mean, how many of them started? All 3 of them started NFL games. Like, it ain't like they just freaking fizzled out and weren't developed at all. And Jake Fromm was not a 5-star quarterback. Like, I think in the final rankings, he ended up being a 5-star on
maybe like one of them.
That always boosts Georgia players. But listen, I'm fired up about Raiola. Like, I think this is probably the most excited I've been since the Fields commitment. There's like quarterback commitments are always a lot bigger. Everybody knows who they are. They're the stars of the recruiting class. We had the East. And I remember sitting in the lunchroom at Heritage High School when Kirby came on and we kept Eason still. Like, it was still up in the air. Like, us or Florida, which is always big time. He stuck with us. I'm fired up. And then obviously Fields, I kind of felt good about that one. This one is the best one because you lose Monken, you wonder like, all right, what does that mean? We're in the race for this guy who I've been hearing. You mentioned Arch Manning. We're in on Arch Manning, but I kept hearing like from people I trust behind the scenes like, yeah, Arch Manning is the man, like he's the real deal, but there's a guy behind him he's the real deal. He's the truth. But he's committed to Ohio State at the time. So I didn't really think much about it. And so now that we have him, like it feels monumental because I tweeted out today and I got some pushback. I knew I would. I knew I did when I tweeted it. But we've had back-to-back championships. We've had really, really good players. We've had superstars. But we haven't had the Joe Burrow. Like, we haven't had the Cam Newton. We haven't had the guys that are, like, always being talked about on ESPN. Joe Burrow smoking the cigar video. You had Cam Newton flooding the news stations. You had Johnny Manziel plastered everywhere. Reggie Bush walking the red carpet in L.A. Like, those were superstars. Even Mark Ingram at Alabama was a superstar. Like, he was the face of college football. Stetson Bennett was never the face of college football. Should he have been? Yes, he should have been. But he was never going to be. And you mentioned the look, Griff. The look has a lot to do with it. Like Stetson was a little guy. He's not like the big star superhero looking dude. Raiola has a chance to be that. He could be, if Kirby rips off one of these just Nick Saban runs, 7 or 8 titles, like Dylan Raiola could be the face of that. Like when you look back 20 years from now, like you'll think like Dylan Raiola. Kind of like when you look back on Bama, you think Mark Ingram, you think Derrick Henry, over the years. You think dominant defenses. That's what you could think about, in my opinion. That's what I'm seeing in the future. You look back, telling your grandkids, oh, when I was younger, Georgia just dominated. We had Dylan Raiola. We had some of the best defenses ever. Like, that's what I think this guy could be.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who he brings with him too, because that's another thing about landing one of these big time quarterbacks is they hang out with these guys, they throw with these guys, and there's plenty of these receivers that say, I want to play with this guy. I don't care where he goes. I'm going with him. So that's going to be exciting to see too.
Yeah, and that's the way that it's different. You mentioned this, Jake, like there's a long time from signing period, and there is. But a lot has changed in the recruiting world where in NIL and stuff like that, you have these guys committing a lot earlier. Like, everybody's like, oh, well, it's only June, We already have 11, 12 guys committed. Like, it ain't like the class is just getting started. Like, we're halfway there. It's not like it used to be where Tennessee was always number one in the country under Jeremy Pruitt in July, and they act like they already had their recruiting, filled out when nobody else had theirs completed. Commits are committing earlier. So getting a quarterback like Raiola in, like you said, is huge because Griffin now has the top players in the country pulled up. And just looking at who Raiola could bring with him. Jeremiah Smith was on a visit this week. He's already mentioned how much he likes Raiola. They have a good relationship. He's already said he's, factoring Georgia in. And then you have Ellis Robinson that already committed, number 4. Sammy Brown's at the workout with Dylan Raiola. Linebacker at Jefferson, number 5.
That's close by Athens, too. Wants to stay home.
Yes, he's a big-time dude. Ryan Wingo, he was already kind of like a package deal with Raiola wherever he goes. Number 7, the second best receiver in the country. Keep going down, Griff.
Cam Coleman out of Colquitt County is another one.
KJ Bolden was on a visit this weekend. 11's a safety from Buford. Like, he has the ability to impact some of these top guys. And for those of y'all paying attention to recruiting that much, this has a chance to be potentially like one of the best classes of all time. And having Raiola at the front and center of that it makes a huge difference. Mike Matthews, I've heard he's in the mix.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting, and it's like a rich get richer type situation where they were already recruiting really well without that typical home run quarterback commit.
Right
now look at him, it's fun.
While we're looking at this too, just to all the Bama fans out there, Julian saying here, a lot of people have been saying that they got him from us or whatever. That whatever. We didn't want him, guys.
Kirby's playing chess.
We didn't.
Kirby's playing chess. But yeah, man, like I'm super excited about it. Like I've been on this kid for a long time. I think he's special. I think he's got all the talent in the world. And like I said, I got big plans for him. I think he's gonna be one of the faces of the program. I love the tie to Matthew Stafford. Like it just seems like it all works out. And a lot of people, I heard a lot of people, why would Kirby just hire Bubba Ross-Stark? Like, anybody who wants this job, blah, blah, blah. Well, I think y'all now know why he did that. Number 1, he trusts him. He's one of his best friends, and he had Raiola in the bag. That's enough to keep an OC right there, in my opinion. So, you get Raiola, you let the pieces fall into place. That's exactly what Kirby did because he's the king.
Yeah, another thing, too, this is kind of on topic. I do like early signing day now because guys can get on campus for like bowl practice and stuff like that and kind of get into the system earlier. But I really miss the old signing day, man. I used to skip school just to watch it. It was so much fun. But that's just the thing of the past.
It was constant. Which
it was cool when everyone was committing on the same day. Now it's kind of split and like diluted a little bit.
Yeah, but I would still say 80% of the people are on early signing day now. So.
Especially you talk about guys committing earlier too, like Georgia. Like Georgia, you better say you want your spot because it's probably not going to be held for you. Right. I think kids are getting more talented too. We're seeing more and more really good players each year, and like at a place like this, you can't afford to say, "Well, I'm gonna wait till March 1st or March 15th, whenever it is."
And and even Brooks was talking about this, like. Remember what Richard LeCount did for that 2017 class? So he was kind of the face. He was recruiting everyone. Like he was outward about, come to Georgia. We ain't done yet. They're making the videos. I've heard Raiola is LeCount plus some right now with all these guys. I mean, he's laying it down for them. He's letting them know. I think in Brooks's words, it was, here's why you should come here. And if you don't come here, here's why you don't want to play us. So pretty good recruiting pitch. I'm excited to see who he brings in. It's going to be special for sure. And like I said on Twitter, you better get us this year. Is all I'm going to say. It might be impossible. I don't know yet. This might be the most unknown team we have going into the season. So you better get us now.
I've been waiting to talk about this Dylan Raiola stuff really because, like what you just said, like if they don't get us this year, when are they going to?
I don't know, Griff.
Because I mean,
I don't know. That's the question.
We can be looking at 5 or 6 straight. Is all I'm saying.
Oh Lord!
It's just a shame that they're going to have to play us in such a quiet stadium. You know.
Yeah, good segue.
Such a bad atmosphere. All these recruits must really be putting that to the side. You know.
Exactly. So, if you've not been living under a rock, if you have Twitter, if you're watching the show, you probably do have Twitter. But if you don't, we're in the midst of a battle on Twitter. Sanford Stadium has been disrespected again. And it's from our friends over at Unnecessary Roughness, a Barstool podcast, where they're a fun podcast to listen to. If just for entertainment.
Yeah, Jack Mack's my guy. Love Jack Mack.
For entertainment purposes, because they're very entertaining and they say what they mean. If you're looking for like real football knowledge, like that's not where you go.
Head over to Josh Pate.
Yeah, like go somewhere else. If you just want to be entertained, talk about football, guys who actually like the sport, and girls, guys and girls who like the sport but don't know a whole lot about it. That's Unnecessary Roughness.
They're a little more biased too. I mean, they're kind of like us, except they're biased towards like 4 or 5 different teams.
I appreciate that sometimes, a little biased. Like it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun to always listen to just unbiased, like serious.
That's not the root of this issue, though.
Regardless, is they're not like extremely knowledgeable, and they haven't been to Sanford Stadium since who knows if they've ever been. They may have never ever.
I remember
been.
Brandon Walker the last time he went. I know for a fact was when we played Mississippi State and opened up in the Flea Flicker.
Yeah, all right, yeah, different times. So they go on and they tweet at us. A week ago. They say, hey, Georgia fans, where's that video that y'all had of the Tennessee game and Casey's in it, one of their podcast people. And so we put it in the comments like, oh, here it is.
It was
awesome. Keep in mind, it was like 7 or 8 people picking Tennessee, talking about how good Tennessee is, and then leads right into the video of us just beating the crap out of them. Like, we just put it together, put it on TikTok. It is what it is. Well, they did release a segment on Twitter from their podcast about, yesterday or 2 days ago, where they're saying, Georgia fans, they want us to acknowledge Sanford Stadium as some loud stadium, this, that, and another. They even put us in their hype video. That hype video had nothing to do with it, not even a little bit. That's how arrogant they are. They think like, oh, they put us in the hype video, so it must be important. Like, no, you just said some dumb stuff. It was proven extremely wrong, and so you got flamed for it. Like, stand in the paint if you're going to say something.
If we had lost last year, there would easily be clips of all 3 of us in other people's videos.
Yeah, which is fine. Which is fine. That's going to happen. And but the part that got me was, so obviously, you're scrolling on Twitter, you see a video of a podcast just trashing Georgia fans for no reason, unprovoked, completely unprovoked. They probably haven't talked to Georgia fans since the season ended.
They actually asked for it.
Yes, they asked for it.
Yeah, that's what – yes.
So then you go to the comment section, and you got Brandon Walker in there saying, why are Georgia fans so insecure in my mentions all the time, blah, blah. Like, bro, you have no idea why Georgia fans are in your mentions. You tweeted at us unprovoked, completely unprovoked, but we're the ones that's insecure. When you have to continually talk about how quiet our stadium has been, since, even though you haven't been there in 5 years. You were saying the Swamp is louder than our stadium. Have you been to the Swamp since Tebow was there? Clearly not. That stadium is useless now. They're terrible at home. So miss me with the Swamp. That's how you know a situation's bad. When you're talking about the Swamp. Yeah, the part where he's just, why are Georgia fans so sensitive? Dude, you asked for this. Physically asked
if you just want off-season content, which I completely respect.
I get it.
You just say that. We're just, it's the off season. We need something to talk about. Just don't start clutching your pearls and saying, "Oh, why is this happening?"
You asked for it. But, we were asking why Tennessee fans were in our live stream during that Tennessee week. We knew why they were there. We were absolutely trashing them. We were trashing them. Like They needed to come defend themselves. That makes complete sense. But don't act like you're some just on a pedestal or, Ray, all these Georgia fans are in my mentions. Why? Freaking idiot. I mean.
But yeah, Josh Pate, per usual, put it best out of anybody. Has the most reasonable opinion. He said, yeah, it used to not be that great. Used to be a sweater vest convention. And, there's an argument for that. I think there were a few moments where Sanford really stood out, but it definitely wasn't consistent like that. But he said, it kind of changed under Kirby Smart and kind of took on that Kirby Smart identity. And since then, it's been elite. I'm glad he brought up Arkansas in 21 too, because that's another one that people often overlook. They always point to Tennessee, but Arkansas in 21 was insane, especially for a noon game.
12 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah. That game, I was there. It was very loud. Arkansas had 3 false starts on the first drive. I mean, they could not do anything. And it's just, if you haven't been in a while, go to a game. It's fine if you haven't been in a while, but don't make some assumption based off of something from 5 years ago.
What's nuts also is like, bro, people say, like, I saw a bunch of people saying Williams-Brice is way better in the comments. Like,
we had that place cleared out at halftime.
Dude, I was there. I saw the sandstorm before. It was cool. It died in like 10 seconds. Like, dude, half that stadium was cleared out. Like, and that's a big game. You're playing the number 1 team in the country. Like, I get it's not a close game, but, like, you got to stay past halftime.
The one that's making me laugh is all of a sudden LSU fans saw a tweet that I mentioned them where I acknowledged their stadium as being elite, but then posted the Arkansas. I said, this is what separates Sanford Stadium. They're like, it don't matter what time of day, Tiger Stadium's rocking. Tennessee brought, 25% capacity to y'all's place last year and had y'all run out by halftime.
Yeah.
Sanford Stadium's never been cleared at half. Let me tell you that right now. But here's another something that I don't think anyone's mentioning. I think that Georgia is probably, out of the premier programs, let's say there's 10, 12 premier programs right now in college football. We have had by far the most underwhelming home games in the last 10 years. Like, I can count on my hand great home games. You have LSU, you have Notre Dame, you have Arkansas, you have Tennessee. That's pretty much the only 4.
And I can tell you why.
Why?
Dude, nobody wants to come in there and play.
Well, they don't choose the schedule. I mean, even the SEC games, there has been no marquee game. We had the Alabama game that we lost. All right, there's the 5. Stanford has not had very many marquee games at home. I don't know what it is. We had some home-and-home schedule. We had Clemson at home too. There's 6. I'm thinking of more as we go. That's it. Y'all remember any more since 2010?
Well, no, I think a large part of it too. I think if Florida was a home-and-home, it would
no
be
doubt.
Too.
That hurts bad. Bad.
And that's been our biggest competition.
And see, Florida has LSU every year. We have Auburn every year. Auburn has fell off hard. We made the Auburn game great during the blackout, but
Auburn hasn't beat Georgia. Auburn hasn't beat Georgia in the state of Georgia since 2005.
Yeah, and Auburn right now, Auburn is like one of the most forgettable teams in the SEC. So it's not like they're bringing a bunch of electricity when they come to town at this point. Like, we have not had many marquee home games in the last 10 years. Probably the least amount of any marquee team in the country. I don't know what it is. I don't know. And everybody complains about our schedule, this, that, and other. That's fine. But SEC could throw us a bone and maybe give us an LSU at home. Maybe give us a Bama at home again. We had A&M at home. And
we got Ole Miss this year, and they should be decent, but they're no guarantee to be
give us a night game.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
Yeah, the time of day is whatever. They can't control that, but give us some good games. And they canceled Oklahoma home and home. I think we have
I was so excited
later on in the year, or later on in the decade. But yeah, Sanford Stadium's not going to look great when we're playing freaking UAB, at home, and that's what we have. No offense to UAB, but we need some legit games. We saw it when Notre Dame came to town. That place was buzzing. Like, no stadium in the country is buzzing when an FCS team comes to town or when they're playing the worst team in the conference. I can promise you that.
I have an actual just 1,000 IQ take. I'm going to uncork this a little closer to the season too, but like I kind of still wish Oklahoma was on the schedule. Number one, because it's more entertaining. And number two, because I think Georgia is more likely to lose if they don't have Oklahoma on the schedule, because that makes me think that they could fall asleep at the wheel. Like the Missouri game last year, like if it's just too easy and you just start going through the motions, I think something like going to Norman early in the year will get the juices flowing. But
I would have loved
I don't know.
I would love to play them, but I will say I don't think that in Kirby Smart's culture that's even possible at this point. Like,
well, we did.
I guess we'll see this year.
Missouri played well in that game. It wasn't like that they just like play like crap. Like
we fumbled,
but still they had no business being.
They did have no business being in that game. But
we turned the ball over like the first 3 possessions inside the 50.
Yeah, but we're going 7-5 this year, guys. So
Griff says it's impossible, even though it happened last year. That's the kind of blinders Griff puts on somehow.
Like it's just not going to happen. Is all I'm saying. But the thing about that video, the clip that Unnecessary Roughness posted, that got me the most was Casey acting like she was the only one in the video. They're like, they made a hype video with me in it. Like, no, you were the last clip of like multiple other people in the video.
I can't name half the people who were in that video. Like, I have no idea.
No, me neither.
She also moved the goalpost so much when she was talking about the video, which they didn't tag us or anything, by the way, or like, mention who it was.
Because if anyone actually sees the video they're referring to, they're like, this is the nothing burger. Like, this is not about you at all.
What's crazy is like, why did they ask who made the video if they weren't gonna like be like, oh yeah, Backstreet Boys made this video? I don't know.
Just take such great offense to it, like.
Dude, she also moved the goalpost so much. She was like, Georgia fans were all over me because I said Sanford Stadium was quiet. I was in a hype video. Like, no, that's not even what you said in the clip on our video. You literally
said you didn't see Hendon Hooker fall. You were just wrong. Yeah,
you were just wrong. That's what we were doing in the video. Like, you completely missed the point, of the video.
Yeah, no, here's how her reasoning went. She said, "I say a lot of stupid stuff." So it's like, all right, since I say a lot of stupid stuff, you can't hold it against me. Like, no, woman, I can't. And you said some really dumb stuff. I just don't see the stadium affecting Hendon Hooker and him just falling apart all of a sudden. Well, 7 sacks later, there's Hendon Hooker laying on the ground.
No touchdowns thrown.
Yeah. So whatever. I mean,
I just think it's not hard to say, yeah, I was wrong.
But the fact that a video that I made when I was just sitting on a couch at home has turned into segments from Unnecessary Roughness, Josh Pate, everyone on Twitter arguing about Sanford Stadium is hilarious. That's actually hilarious. Yeah. That's college football.
With the metro booming in the background.
Yes.
If you guys the video, check it out. I'll hype you up.
I have to bring this up. I don't want to talk about this for long. So Bill Connolly of ESPN, not quite sure who he is. He named his top 14 quarterbacks of the 2000s.
I think he had like 100, and somebody released the top 14, though.
Yeah, it was like 75. I don't need to read the rest after seeing this. I can promise you that. Number 1, Baker Mayfield. You're already wrong. Sorry. The list that does not begin with Cam Newton is wrong. I'm sorry. We don't even like Auburn. You're just wrong.
I think there's about 3 or 4 quarterbacks that could go over Baker.
You could have
only
there's
4
arguments. There's arguments.
Yeah, for real.
Like Cam Newton is the answer.
Win a playoff game.
Cam Newton is the answer, but there's arguments against him, and it's not Baker Mayfield. Let me tell you that right now. Keep going.
My list, if you're making a list, it has to begin with Cam Newton. The next 2 probably have to be Joe Burrow and Tim Tebow for me to even continue reading. I'm fine with either of those. If you want to switch those up, I can hear arguments for that. But anyways, it goes Baker, Cam Newton, Vince Young, Tebow, Burrow at 5, Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray. This guy's got to be an Oklahoma fan. Lamar Jackson behind Kyler, which is nuts. Mariota, RG3, Trevor Lawrence, Colt McCoy, Johnny Manziel at 13, and then Kellen Moore at 14.
Johnny Manziel behind Colt McCoy is insane.
What's the criteria? Because it's clearly not talent. So if we're talking about
so bad,
if we're talking about accomplishments, why is Baker Mayfield first?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
what has any of those guys done
championships
that Stetson Bennett hasn't done?
I agree with the Stetson part too. It's not even that the Stetson thing at that point. This is just bad. I don't know what his criteria is.
But
right.
Kyler Murray being on this list is bad to me.
Well, he was pretty electric in college. He was the number 1 overall pick.
I put Bryce Young over Kyler Murray, dude.
Yeah, no doubt. Bryce Young belongs on this list. If you're talking about best quarterbacks, like just best, yes, Bryce Young's on that list. Also, Mariota below Kyler Murray is crazy. Mariota was nuts in college. Nuts.
Johnny Manziel at 13 too also is disgusting.
And he at least won a playoff game.
If we're going to talk about like most talented, like I said, we're starting with Cam Newton. Like, if we're talking about talented best, I saw something the other day. There was one offensive lineman, and other than that, nobody on that offense that Cam Newton won a title with took a snap in the NFL.
He's the best college football player I've personally ever watched. Ever.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Let's get serious here for a second. Like Baker Mayfield at 1 is just insane. Like I said, if it's accomplishments based, Stetson Bennett won 2 titles. So
I got a question for y'all,
Okay.
and this can be answered quick. When we see the success that Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson have had in the NFL, like to the levels that they've had it, where there's a real argument they're the first and second best receiver in the NFL. Does it slightly diminish what Joe Burrow did?
No.
Nah. I think it's just one of those things where it all came together. But Burrow was just so like some of the throws he made were so stupid that you're like,
no doubt.
throw against us in the SEC.
100% one of the best. But you're throwing to Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson in college. That's not fair.
Maybe if Burrow wasn't as good in the NFL, because Joe Burrow was very good.
Right.
I understand what you're saying, but I would say no. I think it just happened to be like just such a great conversion of talent. I mean, the next year Coach O got fired, and they went like 6 or whatever COVID it would have been, like 5-5, whatever.
I think a lot of it too is like, dude, Joe Burrow just had the most swagger of, like, I mean, it was just nuts. Like, dude was just elite.
You're a fanboy. You're a Joe Burrow fanboy.
I think Joe Burrow also had like he had an aura that he brought with him. Like I think that team kind of went as he went, and the fact that he never wavered and never looked shook. Like I think that was a big part of it. That's something you can't quantify.
I think he commanded that locker room too. Like I think everyone just did whatever he said.
If you listen to anybody on that team,
that's crazy.
Like, that's kind of
anyone did whatever he said.
You know,
that's crazy.
I don't mean that literally, bro.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen in sports. Like that you don't just like somebody says this. Oh, yeah, let's go do it. Like that don't happen. That don't happen.
I think
those guys are all dogs, dude. You think Jamar Chase is out there?
Ready to go.
Yeah, they all respect Joe Burrow and love Joe Burrow, but like Jamar Chase is out there just beat the guy in front of him because he's better than him. He ain't doing it because Joe Burrow told him to do it. He's doing it because he knows he's the best receiver on the field.
That's not what I meant by that, but yeah.
Regardless, if you have Baker Mayfield ahead of Cam Newton in any type of ranking of all time ever, you should probably go see a doctor.
That's terrible. That's terrible. That is terrible. All right, let's get into tears.
Let's do some tearing. All right, so let's we got the Athens bars on here, which is it's going to be an interesting one because we got a lot of different varieties on here. I think I covered most of the important ones. So
yeah, I ain't gonna lie. This is gonna be more Griffin and Jake. I'm kind of out of my element here. There's probably half the guys too.
It's pretty much all the same. Most of them are the same. We can start out. Let's go ahead. Let's pay homage to the boys. Bar South S tier.
Yeah, Bar South S tier. Shout out Bar South. Shout out Bar South.
Those are guys. They've hosted us many times.
We had talked about has pool tables tier.
Yes.
And
I'm gonna leave them in S, but we can do has pool tables.
Having pool, dude. For those of y'all who didn't come to the get together that we had, we were playing pool very casually. I'm not good at pool. Griffin's not good at pool. Nobody here is good at pool. But we were playing. Like my wife was playing. Griffin's girlfriend was playing. Jake's girlfriend was playing. Like we were just having a good time. Well, this one guy comes, and there's 3 tables at Bar South. Keep in mind, there's 3 tables. Like clearly, we're having fun on this table. This guy comes over, and is like, "Hey, can I get next?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, dude. Bring it." We were playing doubles too, saying this guy wants next by himself. Well, ends up he's playing next, and I'm like, well, "We're playing doubles." He's like, "Oh, I was just gonna play singles." I was like, "Screw it, dude. I'll play you, whatever." This man breaks out a glove. He breaks out 2 of his own pool sticks.
Yeah, he's there all the time.
One for breaking and then one for playing. And I was like, well, dude, I mean, I guess you're on this table now. Like, there's 2 other tables you could have went to with hardly anyone here, but whatever.
I tried to hand him the pool cue when I got done playing with you, and he was like, "Oh, like I got my like. Do you want me to use a house cue?" I was like,
"Oh my god,
I didn't know people brought their own pool cues to freaking Bar South."
Anyway, shout out Bar South. S tier.
All right, I think we got our first hell submission. 1785 is that one might be mega hell. I hate that place. It's always so hot. There's always some kind of like fight or altercation, somebody getting stabbed or something.
It's
the old jerseys if you haven't been to Athens in a while.
I bumped 1785 up to C because they have karaoke on Sundays.
All right, I can live with that. That's a compromise.
The karaoke on Sunday is kind of elite.
It was elite because
there's not that many
baseball
people
were done on
there.
the weekends. Like we play on the weekend Sunday, and then Monday we're off. So like Sunday was a good day to go out and hang out. And 1785 was open and had karaoke. So naturally, that's where we ended up.
Yeah, real quick too. I'm going to call an audible here. It looks like I accidentally left off Bourbon Street. I could have swore I had it in here, but this is Nowhere Bar, and that place is like kind of irrelevant. I'd probably put it in L anyways, but we're all good with Bourbon Street Hell, right? Are we going to pay like a little homage here for some freshman year memories or what?
Yeah, nah, Bourbon can go there. I mean, it smelled horrible in there.
That place was nuts, man. I saw Jacob Eason every other day in there.
Jen's is S.
Jen's is S. I can.
Well, it has pool tables.
That is true. I feel like it's
going to has pool
turn
tables.
into a de facto
it just is. It's in the
yeah, it has pool tables. Who else has pool tables?
All good. I think all good could. Oh, I could put them in S, but I'll put pool tables. Their drinks are a little expensive.
They are expensive. Where's Where's Cutters?
All good. Cutters is up here. Cutters is another absolute classic.
Yeah. Does it have pool tables?
Yep, sure does. Silver Dollar has pool
in the back. It does have pool tables.
We might not be able to do this.
No, I was gonna say we can
bump Cutters to S tier because the night I got engaged, they had $1. It happened to be Thursday, and they had $1 drinks. So I open a tab. There's like me, and Griffin, and 2 of our friends helped set this whole thing up for a whole week. So I'm like, we're going out, like on me. I opened a tab. Everybody, there's like 9 of us there drinking. So I get done. I go to the tab to close it, and I'm like, this is about to hurt. They're like, nah, $60. I was like, wow. That's huge. That is huge. So they're S tier for them.
Silver Dollar, I don't know if they belong with all good gins, though. I'm gonna be honest.
Exactly. See, that's why.
Can we get a too crowded at all times tier or something?
Yes, that should be one. And what's the one on the corner by freaking Sand? That one belongs in the too crowded at all times.
Oh, Cloud. I was putting Cloud in hell. I hate that place.
No, it's not Cloud. What's the one on the corner?
That's Silver.
Silver.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is Silver.
Silver's too crowded at all times.
I'm gonna put him in B. I'm gonna make this one the too crowded tier.
Well, Sandbar belongs in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. I would honestly put Sand lower. I don't know if it needs to be slumming down with 1785. Too crowded and too hot, both of them. Oh my God. Maybe we could throw 1785 in there too. I don't know. We're getting a little too hyper specific here.
Polly's is S tier.
I wanted to push back on this for a second. We got to evaluate it as a bar and not as a restaurant. Are you thinking about the food?
Honestly, I've never ate the food in Polly's.
I kind of don't like to hang there.
I would probably put it in A, but
that's fine.
I won't disagree with this. But
if I'm going downtown, which I don't love to do to start with because it's all too crowded for me, but Polly's is the one place where I can actually hear the person across from me talk. So that's why I like Polly's.
I don't.
And they have huge TVs in there.
I don't dislike it, but it definitely is much better as a restaurant if you're there like having a meal, at least in my opinion.
I don't think I've ever ate there as a restaurant.
Boar's Head, I'm voting Boar's Head for S tier. They do have pool tables as well.
Yeah, I like Boar's. They have bro. Every bar has pool tables. We might just want to like get rid of that too.
All the good ones. Nah, I think it makes sense.
Okay.
We'll see.
I think Bar South and Cutters is slightly ahead of this too.
I would put Boar's Head in S, but I'm down for has pool tables. I think it's
Let's
I think
put
it's
it in
a good
has
bar.
pool tables. I don't know if it's elite as Bar South or Cutters.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these bars
Yeah.
are elite and has pool tables, but they're not S tier. So I think this works out well.
But Boar is cool. I like the outside aspect of Boars.
What do we have on Dooley's? I haven't been there. It's a new one, right?
Yeah, Dooley's is solid. I like it. It does have pool tables.
I've never been there for like the bar aspect of Dooley's, but the food was good. It's a restaurant too.
I like the upstairs. It's usually a little too hot. I think they're going to figure that out. I will give it an A though. I do enjoy it. I've been there 3 or 4 times.
It's a sick name too.
What does it have?
It is a little. It is a little pricey. It does, but nobody goes there to play pool. They have one.
Yeah.
So actually, they have pool table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're right on Jake here. What on earth is Walker's Pub?
I was gonna put it in hell. It's like that coffee place that's below Blue Sky. I've never been.
I've never even heard of it.
Bro, I went there the other night because I was hanging out with one of my friends and her boyfriend, and we were gonna go to All Good, and it was packed. It was on graduation weekend, and we were like, "Where can we go where we can just like go sit down?" And Walker's. That's where we ended up.
How was it?
It's fine. It's just chill. Like people literally go there to study during the day. Like it's a coffee shop.
Yeah, it is like normally. It's like half of a coffee shop and half of a bar, which I can kind of respect the versatility.
Yeah,
but
I've
never been.
I like the versatility. Griff, you rank this one since you've been there.
I put it in C. I don't think it's worthy.
Wow. So
that's kind of where I was. That's kind of where I was leaning.
Yeah.
What's the one that looks like Italy?
As a bar, I'd put it in C. But they have some pretty cool like coffee, like alcohol drinks and stuff. So for that aspect of it and it being a little different, I think it doesn't deserve to be in hell.
What other ones do I recognize here?
I think so.
Double Barrel.
Double Barrel. That can go in hell. I might keep it out for the memories, but that one can go.
What about 90s?
I like hey, you got to be in the right. You got to be in the right mood. You got to be feeling like a little sing along type.
I'm
stuff
not about 90s.
You do.
For those of you who don't know what 90s are, it's a silent disco, right?
No.
Which one's a silent disco?
I have no idea.
I don't think any.
It may not be. Okay.
90s plays good music though. A lot of good music.
I think it's a B. I don't know if I put it above silver. Might have to move up Too Crowded tier. I don't know.
Yeah, move up Too Crowded above B.
But I think I could put it in B now. I think that would be right.
I'm down with that.
This is Blue Sky. I do enjoy Blue Sky. That's definitely like an older crowd. Like
I like Blue Sky. I like Blue Sky.
They got the patio. It's usually never like insanely rowdy.
I put that in A.
Should we have a game day environment tier? Like, what's the best ones in game day environment?
I think that would just be Paloma by itself. Maybe like Mags, but I was gonna put Mags in A or S. I like Mags.
I like Mags. I haven't been there in a while.
I don't even know if people.
They have pool tables, don't they?
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mags.
I think Paloma. Like, where are y'all putting that? Because they were willing to work with us.
I
could put it in A. I could put it in A or S, but the thing is, if we're gonna do the Polly's treatment when you can't consider the food, we got to do it for them too.
I think Paloma is just a sick spot in general without the food.
I do agree. I like the patio and everything. I'm willing to say yes.
The owner is a cool guy. He was kind of about the whole game day vibe of like all sports. So that might be a place where you go hang out and watch a game.
Let's see. Rowdy Goose. By the way, it's not Rowdy Goose anymore. They've changed it again. It's imported. Slushy Merchants.
Never heard of it.
It's old. What was it? What was the last one called? 100 Proof.
It's old 100 Proof.
I got you. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been there.
I only went in 100 Proof like once.
What's this one with the fat guys' logo?
That's Buddha.
How is it?
That's literally Buddha.
Is it any good?
No.
I'm not allowed. I'm technically not allowed back there, so we're putting it in an L.
You're not allowed at Buddha?
I'm sure they've forgotten by now.
Slushy Merchants. That's funny.
All right, y'all are going in hell. Centro, I like Centro. That might be in too crowded tier though.
Yes,
Centro
I've been there one time and it was. I didn't stay long.
It's seen a revival, man. Nobody used to go. Like I know a lot of bartenders there too,
Centro
so I
is
used
going
to
straight
always
there.
go. But I like it though. It's not when there's like 100,000 people there, but you know.
What's next?
Clark's, bring your damn food back tier.
Yeah, for real. They had good food.
I might put them in hell now. I mean, there's no reason to go to Clark's anymore. Now they just got expensive drinks and no food.
That's fine. I don't care. I don't have an opinion on Clark's.
Cloud,
I'd put him in. I'd put him in B.
I might put. You want Clark's in B?
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
You put him up to B?
Yeah, listen. ESP every year after we do our gala, like our big gala in February, we always have our after party at Clark's. So I have a lot of good times in Clark's.
That's fair.
And they always do percentage nights for ESP, so I respect them a lot.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm down with the rationale. We need to fill up B a little bit as well.
Yeah.
We're
real even right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Directly to hell. Cloud.
I don't think I've ever seen anything in there.
Are y'all fine with Cloud and hell?
Yes.
All right, let's talk about one that's near and dear to all of our hearts. The Saki Mama.
Oh, Lord.
Saki Mama.
There for you and nobody else's tier.
Do we?
It's definitely not too crowded.
Saki Mama was one of the funniest nights I ever had in college.
I
wasn't even in college.
I think A for Saki Mama. That Saki Mama.
I think it's B. It's kind of like 90s. It's like a gimmick place, you know?
Okay, I respect that.
They got one thing that they do, and they do it well. Like 90s, they got the 90s music.
It's better than Sandbar, though.
Yeah, honestly, I was going to put Sand in hell. But
yeah, Sand is way too high. That's the problem.
Let's get them on the board, and we can adjust. We'll keep a pin in that, because I'm down to move Sand down as well. City Bar, I like City, okay.
Yeah, I like City.
It's pretty solid.
I think it's a B too. I think it's a spot I won't complain about if we're hauling over there. It's also
shout out Coach Guy. Shout out Coach Guy. He loved him from City Bar.
What are we gonna do about Double Barrel?
Hell. I don't know if I've ever been. Chris says hell.
I'm down with hell. It's time. Warehouse. This one is
no. Bottom.
This one's held. This one's
bottom. You want to know why? This is the story. All right. So, like I said, Sundays we're going downtown after the baseball series. I'm not even playing anymore. I'm just working out there in 2021. I'm just staying. I'm at Georgia. I'm throwing on the field, working out there, and then when they go out, I'd usually go out with them every now and then. Well, dude, every time we went to 1785, there was this little guy. He was short. He was a short guy, and he would always find me for no reason, dude. I'm talking completely unprovoked. I would avoid him. He would come up and just start, talking, trying to arouse a reaction out of me all the time. And I almost snapped the third time this happened. And then he gets all mad after it was about time to snap, and he says, "What? You never come to the warehouse." I was like, "Dude, I don't even know what that is." And he's like, apparently he worked there. He was one of the main guys. So warehouse belongs down at the bottom.
That's what's crazy too, is that place is always so dead unless they have a concert, and they never have concerts.
What was so funny about that whole scenario was this dude did find you multiple times.
Dude, at least 3 times, 3 separate occasions,
3 separate nights.
And he would come up and just try to start something. I'm like,
and
dude, I don't know what your problem
is. There's just no way this dude had any recollection of any of the previous nights, though, on the second and third night that he did it. There's no way.
I don't know what his deal was, but he works at warehouse, so. And I'm never allowed there, apparently.
Well, you know what? It was already going in hell. It's in super hell now.
I would respect it a little bit more, honestly, if he did remember the
dude, he had to. He would literally find me.
And he
everyone there.
But I think it was coincidence. Like I actually do.
No, dude, I don't think it was.
Georgia Theater rooftop. This one's an interesting one. I think it's a little too expensive. Sometimes the bartender's got attitude, but it is a cool spot.
I'd put it in B.
I think you can go with B. It's kind of gimmicky too, you know.
I think it's a niche. I think B is kind of like the niche category.
Yeah. I think what we've shelled out B as is we got like niche bars and like niche bars and like two like solid. Like Clarkson City are solid. You can't put them in C. They're not worthy. They're not that bad to be in C. Moonshine Bar, a close cousin of Jen's.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. It might be. I think it's actually closed. I'm not sure, but
no, I think it's like doing renovations or something like that. I'm not sure.
I know a couple people that work there. I always have a good time when I go, but I understand it's not for everybody.
I think it's a B.
I put it. It's another gimmick, you know. Yeah, I think it's solid.
Cool.
All right, now here comes the most controversial ranking on this entire list. Where are we going to put Roadhouse?
I've never been there.
There's the ultimate townie bar.
Imagine
it is a townie bar true and through.
Let me try to describe this to you, and you tell us where you'd put it. Imagine all of the trashiest trailer park people you can find in Ringgold gathered at a place in Athens.
And Stetson. He was there all the time.
Yeah.
I think because he knew nobody would bother him there.
So it's like a Happy Gilmore bar. Like Brett Musburger on the mic saying, we got a very financially diverse crowd here today.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Sounds like my kind of place.
It's very hit or miss. By the way, the drinks are awful. I do have to preface it with that. The drinks are so bad. It's got a little bit of charm though. Like I can't like it's right next to Little Italy if you're wondering where it's at. It does have a little bit of charm.
Let's go see. I think the name alone kind of puts it in C.
That is
Roadhouse
sick name.
is a sick name for a bar.
It is tiny too. That is another thing that is not great about it. It is very tiny.
So
it's not too crowded.
Park people,
there's nobody
Stetson.
there.
That's hilarious.
Mega townie bar. It's hilarious.
Dude.
All right, Woodford.
Last but not least, Woodford.
I'm not a Woodford guy personally. I feel like they're always having too many like sorority and fraternity events. I feel like nobody really goes there anymore.
I don't even know what it is.
I'd put it in B or C.
I don't know if it should be slumming it down with these three. I'll put it in B.
B. It's a nice place.
Yeah, it's not bad. I just don't really go. Yeah.
Let's
All right,
evaluate here.
Yeah, let's evaluate. I think Mags definitely elevated A. All good. Gins, Boars. I think those all belong up there.
Yeah.
Polly's, Dooley's, and Blue Sky. I'd put all those in A. Not as good as the ones above them, but good bars. Silver Sand and Centro. Okay, I'm down to move Sandbar down out of too crowded. It is too crowded, but the other two deserve to be above the B's, and I think Sand should be down.
We should have had a freshman bar tier.
Yeah, that was actually a huge miss by us. I might go back and rework that when we're done. But yeah, I mean,
I went to Sand as a freshman pretty much every time. That's the only one I knew. So
it's always that's another place. We should have done too hot instead of too crowded tier because about half the bars.
That place is hot. If you go downstairs, you're literally.
Centro is hot too. That kind of is.
Dude, if you go to the upstairs at Silver, I used to go up there all the time with somebody whose name I won't mention on this show anymore. But oh my god, dude, that place is 150 degrees at the very top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we nailed it here. I think this is a definitive list.
Yeah. I think this is pretty solid.
Yeah. Hey, good with me if it's good with y'all. Y'all know better than me.
I think that the only people who would disagree with it is people who aren't our age, people who are younger than us.
Yeah. Which, and then like 2 years later, they're like, wow, those guys were so right.
Well, that's the show for today, folks. Appreciate you guys listening. Hope everyone has a good week. We'll be back next week. We got a lot of big stuff planned for the off season as we roll into football. It's finally coming around the corner. We're less than 100 days out. So it's time to get your mind right. Time to start diving in. And we got all the answers for you. Follow us on Twitter, Insta, and TikTok. Everybody have a good week. Go Dogs.